half and really take that confidence away from any confidence that Russia can gain. We've seen Carney here again. He's, you know, he's had a strong game, very, very good. We know his strength under the high ball, but he's ran well with the ball tonight, and he's certainly enjoying himself.
Well, 30,000 people are enjoying themselves here this evening. The vantage points are wonderful all around this ground, and they've really enjoyed seeing the Irish get themselves up over that try line 5 times in the first half. I suspect they would be quite happy to see the Russians getting one in their satchel before the end. And Mishkin and Rashkov inviting Trishin, not the biggest of centres. Chemyev couldn't keep hold of the ball. Isaac Voss sends it back up into the Russian half. Simpakevich does very well to get back, bundled into touch, but good defence from the youngster.
It's a pity from Russia there, because they play, you know, they were quite direct there. Good line out again and lost the ball, and good pick-up. It was just Armachev knocked it on. Donica Ryan does well with a basketball pass, and great little kick down the touchline from Boss.
Certainly a match that Artemyev really wanted to play well in. Of course, spent many hours and days in Dublin, won the Leinster Schools Cup twice with Blackrock College, and at one point in the Leinster Academy was wondering about which team he was going to nail his colours, or nail his colours to their mast. Again, Trimble coming through on a flat pass. This time, though, I think the ref did spot it, and they're going to bring play back. Chemyev played with Luke Fitzgerald a lot at Blackrock, played for Leinster Academy, and talking to Alan Gaffney, he was surprised that they let him go. And Northampton are going to make the most of the Russian fullback right here. It's the Irish fullback trying to get his team going again, but just out of syncopation.
Yeah, I think it wasn't as obvious as the one for Earls' try. Great line out of Trimble again, and he's making a real impression here tonight. He looks really determined, really strong in his carries, and trying to make a big impression of Kidney to try and get into that starting team.
And good to see Rob Carney back in such fine form. I mentioned the problems he had with his knee, a couple of operations that forced his absence from this Irish team for a long time, but really now beginning to show some of his best form.
Yeah, absolutely, and it takes time when you're out of the game for that long. I think people don't realise it takes time to get that match fitness back, to get your fitness, your confidence back, and last week he showed signs, and again tonight he's really up in his form, and it can only be good for Ireland.
Big shove from the Irish 8. But Yanushkin spots a gap, and it's a very good kick from the Russian skipper. His name, of course, will be etched into Russian history forever. The first try scorer in the World Cup for the Russians, and showing that he's got footballing skills to match as well. The smallest and lightest player in the Russian side, just 5'4", but a constant danger around the fringe.
He is a good player, and he's played very well against Italy on Tuesday night. As you say, that try was a massive moment for him.
33 minutes into the third game, and now trying to put the pressure on the Irish defence, and it's the meanest defence in this World Cup. No team has conceded fewer points or tries. You've just got to remember that they kept Australia tryless. Only the third team in Rugby World Cup history to make that happen. Well, as you said, O'Callaghan being taken off fairly early to allow him to rest up before that Italian match.
Yeah, and Donica Ryan goes into the second round. Leamy comes on for his first action in the World Cup, and he'll be itching to get his hands on the ball and make an impression as well.
The Russian line-out works well. Yanushkin looks for Greshev, but Greshev couldn't escape the clutches of Jamie Heaslip. for the runners to come through midfield. That's Ostarushko in the middle of that. Now it's set back. Oh, Andrew Trimble just thought about an interception run there, then realised it was a prop in front of him, Sergei Popov.
It's a great tackle out of Trimble and on the prop Popov, and comes out of the line, gets man and ball, and Sean O'Brien straight in. We'll see it again. We get straight in on the ball, and for another steal. You see it here, Trimble. It's very, very powerful for a winger. Sean O'Brien comes in and gets into a great body position there and gets the penalty. I must comment on Russia's scrum and line-out. It's improved an awful lot. The scrum is not 100%. It's still a little bit shaky, but it's a massive improvement from Tuesday night, what we saw in Nelson.
I'm talking to Darren Morris before the game, the Russian scrum coach, and he said it actually wasn't as bad as he thought it was against the Azzurri last Tuesday. So they're trying to build on something, but as we've said, 4 of the tight 5 have changed, and that change certainly seems to have made the difference, and that's one of them. Snobeladze, the hooker, quick to pick up on the loose ball, but, well, losing it. The execution again, letting the Russian side down. Cian Healy secures possession again for the men from the Emerald Isle, and there goes Sean O'Brien. He really only knows one direction, and that's forward. Jamie Heaslip running a good line, getting the offload in, not quite. The reinforcements arrive, and O'Gara, well, Paddy Wallace looked like he'd got a fingertip to that ball, but the referee didn't spot it. And play continues with Heaslip right down the middle channel. Again, Boss anxious to maintain the momentum and the pace, and Keith Earls puts on the pace. Earls cutting through for his second try, and Ireland get on the board with the first try of this second half. I suspect when we look back, it may be a little fortuitous once again.
Yeah, it's a great step from Earls, and that's what everyone in Ireland wants to see, and all the fans. Keith Earls making those breaks, those trademark breaks that we know he can do. He hasn't done them for a while, and that'll do his confidence, the power of good. You see, it's quite slow ball here to Earls, and it's a good step. It's a great step off the left foot, and he does very well to get in for a try. And as I said, that'll do his confidence very good. He gets through Sidorov, and great break, and that'll do his. He'll do him a power of good because he has great talent and probably hasn't shown it on a consistent basis.
Well, there's a lot of people in this Irish side who are looking to impress those supporters and their coach. And in fact, Keith Earls has had his lot now. He's trotting off to the bench as Ronan O'Gara finishes things off. Presumably Jordan Murphy is going to trot out, just having a look to see. Jordan Murphy is onto the pitch wearing 22 on this near side. And looks like Mike Ross is also on. There is Murphy. The Leicester legend enjoying his time with the shamrock back on his chest.
Yeah, Mike Ross has come on for Cian Healy. Cian Healy getting the break as well, and I suppose it's a good decision to get him off the field. And Voitov has come on the Russian team for
forward by Green.
For Antonov. Voitov has come on for Antonov as well. So both teams are making a lot of changes now.
Well, maximising their benches as ever with the modern game. It's critical to get players off the bench making an impact to the game plan. Sidorov is coming to cover midfield and back row. It's got that flexibility and versatility. I think it's important to mention what the Russians are trying to do. They know that they're not going to get the results, but they are playing on the biggest stage, and when they've got things going back at home, they've got a fully fledged professional league going, there's a women's program going, the IRB have invested a lot of money in helping with the high performance development. It's just important for the Russians to show we're here on the world rugby stage.
Absolutely, it's a massive thing for these guys to play in the World Cup. We have to remember they're a second-tier nation. They're not used to playing at this high level. and it's a great opportunity for them. They're a couple of years behind in their development to get to the level of the first-tier nations, and you know the IRB are doing great things with the second-tier nations, trying to improve rugby in the weaker countries, and Russia are one of them. And for these guys to be here at the World Cup is a massive honour for them.
Certainly they're having support from all the people back home. They're getting all these games screened live back in Russia. They've got support from Prime Minister Putin, amongst others, eager to get Russian rugby up to strength as quickly as possible. Of course, they're hosting the IRB Rugby World Cup Sevens in a couple of years' time as well. That will increase the profile yet again. Yanyushkin looking for Artemyev. Artemyev steps to, and Russia are going to get over the try line. And you can hear from the noise how much the crowd appreciate the efforts of the Bears. And that man, number 15, Vasily Artemyev.
It's a great score. What a line from Artemyev. And I suppose if anyone was to score against Ireland tonight, no better person to do it, having went to Blackrock College and been involved with Leinster for a couple of years. Great little break here from Jan Yushkin, and a switch play and wonderful pace from Artemyev, and it's just reward for his efforts.
Well, great to see, as I mentioned, with his history and his association with Dublin. It's quite disconcerting when you interview him, you get a very South Dublin accent coming back at you. Not quite what you expect from the Russian fullback, but those Russian fans have waited for that moment all the way through this match. And I said earlier, the key for Russia is scoring tries, and now they've done it against Ireland.
It's massive. It's a massive moment for him, and you can see how pleased all the Russian players are. I'm not sure Les Kiss will be too pleased by that, but it's a great moment. The crowd have shown their appreciation to that score, and no more than they deserve.
And getting the extra 2 points as well. Suppose you can look at it and say Australia couldn't get across the Irish line, but Russia could. Where does that sit Russia?
Well, it's a very, very well executed try. I'm not going to get into that one, but he's done really well here. He's a lot of power and pace, and great score. Be very pleasing. He'll give all the coach in Russia a big lift. They've had a tough time here at the World Cup.
And Henry Paul, of course, the Kiwi backs coach working in the Russian camp, will be very pleased with his fullback. Now, how do Ireland react to that? They know they've got this game won. That's not the issue. It's all about performance in this second half, focus, concentration. Paddy Wallace not able to find Trimble on that occasion. The two Ulster teammates yielding the ball, and Jan Yushkin sends it back up towards the Irish 22. Dennis Leamy couldn't give Jordan Murphy much room in which to work, but at least he secured the possession. And O'Gara, here come Ireland trying to run out their own 22 with Dennis Leamy. Paddy Wallace sends it downtown. But suddenly this match picking up a bit with the confidence that the Bears have taken from that score. And Ireland looking to reimpose themselves on the game. The scoreline almost irrelevant in terms of the match outcome. Heaslett. Cullen looking for the next option. Wallace waiting for the runners to come. It's Donica Ryan. Wallace ensuring the continuity. Leamy taking the shortest distance between 2 points, but
yeah, and he penalised, the referee penalised Cian Healy for something similar again in the first half. So it's he's been consistent there. Leamy looks a bit frustrated by it, and the Russians are defending well. They're working really, really hard in defence, scrambling defence, and you know, they keep their line quite flat, and they're not coming out of the line. They're showing a lot of discipline in defence in the second half, and they're frustrating Ireland a little bit.
Well, Ireland's performances thus far have moved them back up to 6th in the IOB World Rankings. And this next 27 minutes